Alright guys, want to talk about Spain today. Woohoo! Myself, I'm going back to Blighty in the early hours of tomorrow, so I'll actually be in work for 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Lucky me. But one of the things I want to say is I do see Spain's becoming closer full time, and I do feel the pain of those that are struggling to find a way out here. But it wasn't straightforward when I first came out anyway. If people remember, it took about 3 years for them to sort the bloody paperwork out because they wouldn't recognise my income. And it was to do with the office here, the Policia local office in Torrevieja, because Alicante wasn't an issue, they got it. But here, nah, it's almost like, hey guys, you're interfering with our cigarette break. I've got another excuse to send you home again. And it was just keep going back until they got fed up of seeing me, at which point they signed it off. So I do understand the frustration of trying to sort the paperwork out. I do understand that you may be thinking you can't move to Spain. That's not true. The opportunities are still there. It's just more legislation. Also, you can engage with the embassy in the UK. You'll find they're helpful, far more helpful than the British embassy in many cases. You just need to find your path, whether you're coming in as a working student, whether you're coming in as a retiree, whether you're coming in and on a nomad visa or a complete new settlement. You need to work out what the criteria is for that specific and just go for it. Don't let Daily Mail and any of that tripe actually disrupt your choice. Make it happen. I mean, I went out to the Philippines for nearly 8 years, and do you know what? That's on the embassy do not go list. That's on the embassy for kidnappings and many other things that go on there, because there's two armies at conflict, never mind the good old ISIS that moved in there a while back. You've got MILF that operate in the south on Mindanao, which is, I think it's Muslim Islamic Liberation Front, and then you have the communist or socialist, which are sort of to the sort of northeast and all over the place, but they're proper full-size armies. They're not little like 10-man type operations. They've got thousands of people. Didn't stop me going there. Most jobs being illegal for a foreigner to do in the country didn't stop me going there. I loved it there. We had all sorts of businesses. We had a good lifestyle. The whole point of that is, if you don't make the choice to make the changes, no one else is going to help you. You've got to make it happen. If you don't, no one else does. I mean, it's a bit like getting the house. When we had an original budget when we were buying the house, and then I was working in the UK thanks to I think it was during the COVID. It might have been during the COVID times. I'm struggling to remember now, but this was above our budget, and my wife would come out, she'd liked it, because you know real estate agents, you say, yeah, but my maximum's 100,000. They go, oh yeah, 140,000, okay. So she'd come out, she liked it, and I just thought, you know what, bite the bullet, I'll find the money. And I did. It squeezed me. It really did financially squeeze me, but we did it. You've got to sometimes take risks in life to make things happen, and the media should not be your goal. They should not be your go-to. They should not be your advice givers. You can't trust them with a single thing. But I'm not going to get into it in too much detail because there's a bigger picture piece. I'll cover that on my other channel. But realise that if you want to live in Spain, it's doable. You've just got to plan more, be better organised, etc. A lot of stuff that I find people whinge about, complain about, etc. The same people had a long time to sort themselves out and get themselves in order and didn't bother their backside, yet still sit there whining it's other people's fault. It's you, because their consulates and that were doing all their everything they could. They were having meetings to show people how to do the paperwork and everything else, and these people thought that things wouldn't change. Probably many of them still voted for Brexit at the same time as well, not realising actually if it impacted themselves. Anyway, politics aside. Yeah, so for me, I'm looking that things are getting in a better spot. I need to try and get the mortgage paid off faster. Because I keep looking and thinking, at the moment I've got 16.75 months of the years left of the mortgage left. If I pay £300 extra a month, €300 a month, which makes it even better, I can clip a extra month off for every year. Sorry, a month off for every month. So in theory, I'll be paying 24 months off a year, which is good. So I've started doing that, and I want to try and build up to the point I can try and get the mortgage down to 10 years in a very short period of time. Because at 10 years, I'll probably try and pay more off just to get it gone. Why am I fixated on the mortgage? Quite simply, I don't like debt. I'm not a debt person. I hate debt. I don't have credit cards. Don't have a car loan. Everything I buy is normally the car, for example, I paid in cash. I generally don't do debt. I'm just not that way inclined. And I've got to a point now where everything's going into investments or getting rid of the mortgage. So right now we're having this sort of analysis piece within ourselves on where we want to go, because we want to achieve stuff, because I hit 50 last year. So I want to start doing more, because I've been dragged into the UK rat race to pay for everything, and I need to start living again. I mean, I've got to admit, before we moved to Spain, I was doing a lot more. You know, it's a lot more at ease because our properties were paid for. I went and worked in the Middle East for a bit. It funded us getting our first apartments built. Then we rented out the apartments. Then we started the call centre. The call centre then bought us another lot, which has got a few apartments on it. And we're very sustainable financially. And out in the Philippines, you can have bad months and financially it doesn't affect you. You're eating chicken that month, not going out. Because obviously in society, there's more tiers. So this is what's weird in the UK, because we bring everybody up to the same standard. It means that the cost of living is relevant to everybody. I know it sounds a bit, I don't know, arrogant or whatever, but it's reality. You know, your chicken would be the same price. So if everything's raised up, it means all the costs are inflated. And you probably say, well, that's my opinion. Well, look at the living crisis nonsense at the moment. I don't think it's my opinion. But if you have different tiers, that chicken's still got to be a pound, a euro, whatever, because people are earning less. But if everyone's earning the same, that same chicken, £6. Just market rates. But yeah, it's been good to be back for nearly 2 months. I think I'll be in the UK for 2 or 3 weeks, and unless I change jobs, I'll be back again. We started going out more, as you probably noticed. In fact, it's just reminded me, I actually have some stuff on this phone that I haven't shared on the channel. We've started this thing where we're going to cover more of the stuff in the area, because I was saying to my wife, it says we keep looking at things like going to Valencia, going to Bilbao or things. They're miles away. I have to have enough time to get there. But like last week, was it last week? Yeah, last weekend, we went to 3 locations in the same day. Now, don't get me wrong, the kids were a bit tired, and I think everyone's getting a bit dehydrated, but we did it. And they're all interesting places. You know, went and seen Viaduct. Where else did we go? We went to Viaduct. Went to like a Moroccan cafe type place, which has a lot of gardens and stuff. Don't get me wrong, the €9 to get in there, they didn't warn us about, because there was no signs up there, and the menu has no prices on it either. So we got hit for four of us, I think it was €60 for like some of the like Arabic type snacks and some teas and soft drinks. Now I don't mind, because let's face it, I'm used to going to the trust places in the UK where you get hammered, you know. So I was just thinking about a lot of pensioners and that might become unstuck because they sort of get whacked with a big bill that they weren't expecting, which is a bit naughty. Nice place though. Where else did we go? We went to another place there. Went to the viaducts. I'm trying to think. I think I've already put it on the channel as well. I can't remember. But they'll be on the channel. It's either the two videos before this or the next one. That'll be the three things we went and did. Because they're up near Alicante. It's going to bug me now until I have a look. But the thing is, going to try and do more stuff. I'm also going to spend a bit of time on understanding my camera equipment, because I have a lot of camera equipment. Very rarely do I have time to look at the camera equipment. And I just want to put in context, because for example, part of the course I'm doing at the moment, I get to read all these lovely books about things like emotional intelligence and things. So my time is often taken up, but I need to start making time for you guys and the family, because we need to, when I'm here, I want to be spending time with the family, doing stuff, going out, seeing things, achieving stuff. So it's going to be a lot more focused that way going forward. I know the channel's been a bit dull and, well, I don't know if it's been dull and boring. I think it's just sort of just on that even keel, you know, because we had all the construction stuff with the housing going on. And then I've had lots of work because I've had to pay for the house. And now we're actually starting to think we could do more now. So we're starting to, you know, the plateau is starting to level off, and we can start looking at doing other stuff. I mean, the car's getting on my nerves, but I keep looking at it and thinking, 20,000 on another car, can I justify it? Because like I said, I don't like debt. So I have to have a long, hard think on what I'm doing, and I sit and strategize with my income and work out what we're doing next, so we can get where we're going. Because the other thing is, April doesn't drive, which means a brand new spanking car will spend more time at the airport than me driving it. So that's why the one outside, although it's a bit spluttery, it goes to Alicante Airport, no problem. The grills on the top, you know, the rails for the what do you call it, roof rack, there's no paint left on them, because obviously it's quite hot when it's just sat there for months. So you got to take that into account. You know, ideally I want April to be driving before I invest in another car, because even if she don't want to use it too much, she can drop me off and pick me up at the airport rather than leaving it out, getting scorched out there. But beyond that, everything's good this side. I was looking at something as well around the Canary Islands today, and I've got to admit, this is quite a big thing, because what annoys me about is the media, is how it portrays like the locals are anti-tourist and anti-this, and I see a lot of it, and you've got to look at the bigger picture. What do you mean? It's nothing to do with it. They're complaining about new hotels because there's a shortage of housing for locals. Now, even the people that are there, their houses are being sold. You know, they're being sold for profit or whatever reason. The reality is, the tourism has driven the locals out. So I fully understand that there needs to be some protection of the local populace. If you look at the house I'm in, this house is probably 225,000 euros maybe, as I guess. But when you buy a house, you can see what it originally sold for. This was originally £60,000, 60,000 euros back in the 80s. But But the fact is, houses have gone up, and when you start influxing into an area, the values go up. So, if they start, like I say, redevelopment for hotels, but they can't get hotel workers because they pushed all the hotel workers out. You look at London, how many people have to come into the city, and they're struggling to get them because people like me don't like London. I've got to admit, I find it irritating. I find it dirty. It's not the London it used to be. I'm not worried about security stuff, by the way. I'm not worried about people attacking me in the street, which is often the media portrayal. It's more a case of it's a bloody inconvenience getting around the place. Nothing, because at the moment I've got 15 clinics or 17 clinics in the area, and I can only get to maybe 2 in a day because the traffic's so bad, the underground's so bad. It's just not the most mobile of cities on the planet. So I do understand if you're relying on people coming into the city, it may be worth their rents being less than £1,200 a month, because they start going, well, it's not really worth coming to work. Well, you work as a couple, yeah, but we move out the city. We can live on one person's salary even. You start getting to the point where there's very little incentives to be in London. So I fully understand a bit of protecting the local populace, because the population are your workers. If you remove the workers, it sort of defeats the object of having all these pretty expensive buildings somewhere where people are having to travel 100 miles or whatever to get there, because that's the nearest they can go for the cheapest properties they can buy. So bear that in mind when they're talking about the, tourists go home and all this crap that you'll get from the newspaper. It's not true. They're complaining about too many hotels because without building new homes for the local population, there aren't enough workers already, and you're going to make the problem bigger. So it's got to be in balance and in check. Otherwise, you end up with London rates, because you have to start importing workers that have to travel back every night, or you have to have workers that live on site. My mate's brother works at in funny enough, he does work at a hotel in Spain. I was just going to say in Greece, but he doesn't, it's in Spain. But he lives in the hotel. He lives in the hotel room. He loves it. For him, he loves it because he's having a lot of other stuff going on in his life. Got rid of his ex, etc. So disappearing off to Spain to work in a hotel. Yeah, at his age, it may be something he should have been doing 20 years ago. At this stage, settled down somewhere. But life throws us a curveball every now and again. So he's actually gone there, got rid of his ex, who was allegedly a nightmare. I haven't met the woman, so I can't comment, but wasn't a lot of positivity brought about her. So, hey ho. The mats is tidying up as well now. We've just had all that drainage pipe work done, but they've just put a load of signs up again, so they're doing some next week. I am hoping it's resurfacing and just topping it. I do hope they don't scrape it. I hope they just scratch the surface and just go over the top of it. Because they've got a channel, they put a new drainage channel down, they've concreted it. So I'm just hoping there's enough room on the curb to put a tarmac layer on the top, so I'm hoping that's what they do, but who knows. There's some comments around the they've got the new boardwalk as well. Well, it's interesting because people are complaining about well, it's only one person, I'll say people, because it's a bit unfair to focus on an individual. Why is it wood? Firstly, wood's more sustainable, it's recyclable, it's more practical because you can grow it. Concrete and stuff, if you're looking at the waste managing of it, it's not great. And let's face it looks better. Don't get me wrong, it won't last 100 years, but I'm not a fan of concrete everywhere. You've got to have some neutral stuff in there. And they're also using this timber, I believe 70% recycled wood and 30% something else. So you're going to have a product that's durable and will last at least 20 years. I mean, I always put 20 years on most of this stuff these days because people put guarantees on it knowing their business won't be around then, or it's changed names and owners and all the warranties don't matter. Man, that's a bit negative. I work in the construction side. I see what these twats get up to. 40-year warranties on their flat roofs. Yeah. Man, at work you do after 15 years. It's not funny. And then you try and chase them and they're, the Nickel brothers or whatever, they're no longer trading. Oh, aren't they? I see their vans. No, that's Nickel brother and son. No, they're rogues. They really are. But anyway, moving on. There's not a lot else to say at the minute. I do recommend coming out to La Mata this year. I do recommend coming out to Spain, enjoying yourself. Ignore the Brexit nonsense. Ignore the negative media stuff. Nothing's really changed here. Spaniards want you here. That hasn't changed. Like I says, the issues around housing, they're not new either. They were already on about that in Barcelona, Madrid, etc. Because it's the same problems you get in London. If people are Airbnb in all the top apartments, people can't buy the bloody things. And because they're Airbnb, they can charge more rent, which means every time that piece of the market changes, in other words, more people buy them to rent, there's less houses available for the general population. But I'm not getting into the politics of displacement in London, because this is Spain. But the good thing about a place like La Mata is the original population was so small that there's no real displacement here because there wasn't many people here in the first place. This has all come up around tourism, same as Benidorm. They weren't there. There was only 200, 300 people that used to be here. Now it's a small community. And yes, a lot of places are empty all year round, but at the same time, I would say there's a lot more facilities here than what I find around Northampton, unless you go out to the outskirts. Because you look at La Mata, it's got its fishmonger, it's got its butchers, it's got its sports facility being built, all its restaurants. Yeah, the little sports shop as well. Computer shop even. It's a little bustling community because it is quite busy. That's the thing. There's not a lot of vacant. I don't think there is any vacant shops in La Mata now. Even Bar Olga, which was down this end, has moved to the bar up near what it was the Sands. The Sands is a little bit more complex. Because the owners still own the place. I'm not sure, I haven't seen them for ages, but it's more to do with the ownership, because I think they probably got tired in the first operating it for a year. They realised how much hard work it is running a bar and restaurant, which is not that. If you want an easy life, do not have a bar and restaurant. That's my best advice. But it's probably more to do with the fact it was a headache. I think they rented it to somebody as well, then had a problem with the tenant. That's what I think. I'm not 100%, but beyond that, everywhere's sort of busy. And then you look at Torrevieja, they're just building, I think, at least an extra 3,000 houses or something ridiculous. That's up by, if you take the back road, so where the hospital is, the private hospital, and then there's a back road towards San Luis. They're building houses there on a mass scale. So like a whole new housing estate. People are already complaining about it, but I think they started $250,000. But in reality, that's this area. And at the moment, it's just a flat land anyway. Don't get me wrong, there'll be some wildlife in there, but it won't be massive. But that creates investment in the area because, let's face it, all those houses are going to pay annual taxes. And now, me being a little bit selfish, been here all year round, you know, kids and, you know, like April and whatever. That goes into the Central's fund. You know, let's face it, they all have to pay their taxes. So their taxes benefit the community. So other people may say, oh yeah, it's not like building a new city where the population's there all the time. It is people that are just there, you know, for the summer or whatever. So it's like the matter. It's chaotic for about 6 to 8 weeks of the year. The rest of the time, it's lovely. And that'll be exactly the same. It's not going to be full of people there all the time. It's going to be the summer, which means taxes are paid throughout the year, benefits the whole community. Which is probably why Tollebeca has so many things like the sports complexes and stuff. There's a lot of facilities here for the size of the place. You know, we looked at the population. That's quite well. On another story though, on the negative one, the language school is cancelling a lot of its lessons. April's just doing Spanish there at the minute. I think she graduates in about a month or so, I think. But they've cut something like 600 or 700 places in there. But we worked it out that if you worked it out per person, you're only probably paying about 20 cents to €1 per lesson. So the fact is that must be government funded to support the language learning there. So I can understand if it's got so big, they turn around and say, this is a bit ridiculous. But, you know, because we're getting people coming in from everywhere and they're paying like 120, 140 euros to learn Spanish. And then you suddenly go and hang on, we've got bills for bloody tens of thousands here. So I do get it, you know, but at the same time, I'm not sure if they're combating it right. Maybe it's worth actually asking people if they want to pay for the full course. Because there may be a lot of people quite happy to do that because you get your certificates, which helps you get a job, rather than just cancel them. Because I mean, I know a lot of the Ukrainians we know, they're not skint, they're not short of cash. They're all workers. A lot of them are on the husbands are on the ships, so the ship's engineers, etc. So there could be an incentive to actually put it out there and say, you know, we can't afford to pay for these courses for this year, but if you want to pay for yourself, this is how much it is. But anyway, those are my thoughts for this week. Yeah, like I said, not a lot to really discuss on the Spanish front from my perspective, because, like I said, I've been fixated on the family for the last couple of months, starting to align my finances, starting to think about where we're going from here. Looking forward to coming out at the end of this year, achieving some stuff. What that'll look like, we'll see. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching.